it's Micheline from Micheline Makes here. Well, some of you will already know because I did put it up on Instagram, but I haven't put it all over the place. His Lordship's mother died, well, it's now Thursday, and she died last Saturday. She had a bit of a tough time at the end, simply because she didn't want to go. She's a fighter, and she's a bit like him. He says he wants to live forever, and I've said, well, if you want to live forever, I'm sorry, I won't be around. But she was I don't want to dwell on it too much, but as you know, she had dementia, and I watched right from when she was diagnosed with dementia. I used to watch all the Instagram videos. There's a couple of nurses, hospice nurses, who do little shorts on what happens in the hospice when people are dying, and they do a section on dementia patients, and they describe what to expect, and they said you could have what you call a rally or a surge. Mother-in-law had the rally, mother-in-law had the surge. They said it usually goes on for a day or two, or sometimes a little bit longer. Mother-in-law's surge went on for over a week, and they said that was longer than they usually had people surging for.
For you to tell of that. Where did that come from?
I don't know, but it was very good. It was very good. Yeah, can you remember doing that? Pat a cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it and prick it and mark it with B, and put it in the oven for baby and me. Do you know how old you are, Mummy?
Almost 100.
100? You're not long, not far.
Close.
Not far.
You're nearly 100.
Oh, you were...
Is there somebody in that blanket? Is there? Are they hiding in there?
Oh, is it?
So you will... Boo!
And then they mentioned that apparently sometimes, especially patients with dementia, because they can't tell you that they're in any pain, they sometimes become agitated. She did become agitated, and she seemed to be in a lot of pain, and so they gave her some diamorphine, and at first they administered it so you give it's every so many hours, but then she was really uncomfortable, so they got this a little motor thing that they would attach to her, and that would feed her the diamorphine all the time. But she didn't like it, and she was screaming, well, not screaming, she was pulling it out and yanking it out. She was yanking it out, and at first they had to give up because she wouldn't have it attached to her, and then they finally calmed her down a bit more, then managed to attach it again. So that wasn't very nice. We didn't see that, thankfully, but the care workers, her carers, were saying that she was very, very uncomfortable, and they had a very difficult time trying to calm her down. And then after that, she went into the deep sleep, the deep slow breathing and everything. And they thought it would have taken a couple of days, but it didn't take a couple of days. We were there on both those days, and we thought she would have died then, and then she carried on to the next day. The carer said it wouldn't surprise me if she goes on another day, because she's a bit of a fighter. And so she went into the deep sleep on the Monday, and by the Thursday she was still there. And Friday was the last time we saw her, because on the Saturday we had arranged to go out. Our friends were coming, and we were going to go and see a band, and we said, well, if you really want us to come out, we'll cancel what we're doing. And they said no. They said if she's still around, come back on the Sunday. So we were going to come on the Sunday, and on the Saturday night, because they knew we were at this with our friends, they waited until midnight, and then they rang us and told us she died in her sleep at 9 o'clock that night. And to be honest, we were kind of relieved, because she was just disappearing to nothing. It was like looking at somebody who was a bag of bones. She wanted to carry on, but she didn't have any meat on her at all, so we were kind of relieved. So that's an end of an era of my mother-in-law. On the last day when I was there, I spent a few hours with her singing songs. Obviously she might have heard, or she might not, but I sang all her favourite songs: Perry Como, Vera Lynn, We'll Meet Again, I can't remember, all the war songs. And you know, I was singing quite a few songs to her, and I was holding her hand and just telling her, you know, time to let go, time to let go, go and see your husband, go and see Brian. And eventually she did. Right, well, I don't want to dwell too much, but I did have some questions about some things that I showed you last week. This is going to be a short one, and then I'm going to do something else next time. A lady saw me using this. This was a little chalk marker that I used to mark, and she said, what was that you had in your hand? And it is, I think I've shown you this once before, a long time ago. It's a Koh-i-Noor marking pencil. It has a little pencil. It's a bit like a propelling pencil, and it grips the end, and you draw with a little chalk. Now that little piece of chalk is broken, but you get spare chalks in a box like this, and you get different colours. So here it's got blue, green, yellow, white. Most of them are white, but if I wanted to put a blue one in, as I say, this one here that's already in is just a short one like that, just a little piece that was left. But you just push it in there, and you push it right up to the end, and you've got a blue chalk. Squeeze the end on this end, squeeze the end on this end, and it comes out, and then you can put another one in its place. So a white one can go in there, and it goes up, and there you've got your white chalk. I've pushed the wrong end in because that's the pointy end. I find it quite handy, this. Where's my little piece of chalk on? And as I say, it can hang on to just even the tiniest little piece. It's got a grip just for that tiny little piece there is about less than a centimetre, but I can still hold it in there like that and use it. So that was it's called Koh-i-Noor. I'll say again, is that upside down? Koh-i-Noor Versity, and I think you can get that from quite a lot of what do you call them, haberdasheries. Another one I got, which I haven't shown you, I got from Madame So's, and a lot of you in America know who Madame So's is. And this is the one that is a piece of well, it's like a little pen thing. There it says Madame So's, and it's a little pen, but it's got powder in. It's full of chalk powder, and basically on the end, I don't know if you can see there, it has little teeth, a little wheel on it, a cog wheel, and when you draw along on the cog like that, the little cog, I'll have to find something that's dark. What have I got that's dark? Just to save me from drawing it down, but run that down there, and it draws a line of chalk on it. And I've never used it very much, to be honest. It's something that I haven't really got round to using, and then it brushes off. It should brush off. See if I can get it off any further. There, it's more or less gone. It would wash off. So that's another one, Madame So's, and does she have a name for it? It's just a Madame So's. It's like a pen with a cog, and I would imagine that that little piece here on the end, the little button on the end, undoes, and you can fill it up with more powder. But I've never ever, to be honest, I've never used that. So for me, it hasn't been useful. This one is handy, but that one not really. Now another thing I was showing you in my last one was how I was telling you that I was making two of my rings bigger, and I was telling you that I was hitting it on here. I shouldn't have been using this, but I couldn't find my mandrel. I've since found my mandrel. It was very, very rusty, So I've just quickly cleaned that up. This is a very old mandrel, but you basically put your ring on there and you get your hammer. It has to be a kind of flat, slightly beveled. It's kind of it's not totally flat. It's got a slight bevel on the end there. Slight bevel on the end, and basically you hit the ring all the way around, holding the head of the ring so you're not damaging the ring, and then you turn it, take it off, turn it round and put it the other way so that you're getting both sides of the shank expanding. And that's made it a fraction bigger again, so I can't get it off. Hang on a sec. There. So basically, that I couldn't get that ring on my finger. Not on that finger I can't, but I can on this one. I couldn't get it on any finger, so I've made it bigger. But now I've got all these little dents and things on the shank. And one of my viewers said, how will you get rid of that? So you have some very fine sand, wet and dry sandpaper, and you rub and rub all the way around until it smooths it all off and you get rid of all those bumps. So what I'll do is, in my next vlog, because as I say, this is going to be a fairly short one, I will show you how I rub it down. But yes, I've been sewing. I had arranged for a gentleman to come and look at my sewing machines, but I had to cancel it because he was going to come on the Friday that we were going down to see his mother. So I've asked him to come again next week. So I'm hopefully going to get my sewing machines and my sergers serviced. As I say, I've made a couple of things, but I'm going to tell you about those in the next vlog. So I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you, and I'll catch you next time.